city, big dreams, big dreams. Nothing's ever as big as it seems, so dream on. Small city, big dreams, big dreams. Nothing's ever as big as it seems, so keep going. You only get one life to live. You only get one life, one life. You only get one life to live. You only get one life, one life. The Berg is back, the Berg is back. You might have never heard of that. Harrisburg's finest, 717. Shout out to my birthplace. Experience life scenarios, the worst case.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome. This is Born Leader. This is Week Strong on CMP Radio, cmpradio.net, the voice of Chester. We are the voice cultivating mature positivity, consistently making progress. Chester made products, changing media's perspective, and please, whatever else that is positive, that is affirming, that is shows growth and evolution, you can add whatever you can add to the equation. Good afternoon, man. It's hot. It's hot out there, y'all. It's very hot. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you are doing the right things, moving the right way, living the right way, flowing the right way, eating the right way, drinking the right way. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of, and it's been hot. It's been hot like this for a little bit now. You know what I'm saying? For a few weeks. So, this speaks to you being on point, right? Being on your P's and Q's and making sure you doing things in a way where, you can operate at your utmost level, at peak level. This is about peak performance, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't blame the elements and different things outside influence. You gotta stay in tip top shape so you can perform at peak level. You know what I mean? But anyway, this is Born Leader. This is Week Strong here. And this is good. This is good. It's good to be here. It's good to be here as always. Let me just dive right into it a little bit. So, I was talking to, when I was like just thinking about what I kind of wanted to say today and thinking about what I wanted to bring out today, whenever I do that, it's always different, it's always like various, ways I can come from or various topics or different things to try to pinpoint that I want to say. But I feel led, you always got to go, right? You always got to go with who you're led by, what you're led with, right? That's wisdom right there. You know what I'm saying? That's wisdom. You can talk about many things. You can talk about a lot of things, right? You can bring out a lot of things. It's so many different topics. There's so many things that, we as a people, right? We as a city, we as a people, we as a community, need help with, right? There's so many things that we struggle with, you know what I mean? It's so many things that you could bring out just to try to like add value or spotlight, right? So many things. So what do you say? Because there's so much, what do you say? So with me, I just always kind of like, look at the day, you know what I mean? Like look at the day, and just meditate on different things that I see, that I hear, that come to me in different ways, and just, really being led by that. So what I want to, so I'm gonna talk about what I feel led to kind of speak on today, and that's kind of like the gist of where I'm gonna go. And so let me tell you, let me just kind of set it up real quick, and then we're gonna dive into more of the meat. The preface of this is I was talking to a friend of mine recently the other day, and we were talking about a wide range of things, but but then it got to the point in our conversation where he just began to tell me different things that I didn't know about, like different things that happen like different things that are going on locally, right? Just from a local perspective, from a city perspective, right? So we just be kind of just say a few things, that were going on city, local wise that really I had no idea about, right? Just didn't know, not privy to, don't keep up with, because I don't keep up with a lot of different things, mainly just because it's not who I am. It's not my interest. It's not what I'm passionate about. Why be focused? Why be focused or why try to be in on different things that, it's really no interest to me, personally, from a personal perspective, I guess you could say, like, when it's things that are happening or things that are going on within like your local area or within your city or within your community, from a community perspective, right? From a community and a community leader perspective, you should be up on those things. You should probably be more privy to things. If you're a community leader, you kind of need to know what's happening. But I kind of feel like it's a balance with that, right? Because there's a community mindset, but then there's a personal individual walk in life. And sometimes it's so easy to mix up your priorities, right? You know what I mean? It's so easy to kind of mix up, personal, who you are, your individual kind of like purpose and calling and health and wealth and happiness, because you're so focused on the community or so focused on this that it's so easy to kind of like go offline, so to speak, with just you being an individual and taking care of yourself. Sometimes you can have a heart to take care of others, take care of the city, take care of the community, but then that puts a strain on your own health, your own mind, your own. So it's a balance that one has to have. So I say that just to say that, during this conversation I was having with my friend, he was telling me some stuff that I wasn't in on, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, what? So just city, local aspect of things. And quite frankly, what he began to share with me was just, was just disturbing, right? Just very disturbing. Not because you don't know that it's things that happen, not because you don't know that it's things that happen within your city in the context of leader or leadership or government, right? Or whatever. Not because you don't know that things go on, that it's not this, that it ain't this. I mean, you know that, but when he just began just to kind of say some things, some things were very disturbing to me, mainly I think because let me just say this. You ever been disturbed from, so it's not what happens or what goes on, but it's like what is going on is kind of affecting, not affecting you, but that it could affect others' view of you. So now I totally understand that I'm being a little cryptic here, and that's intentional, but we gotta be smart about how we do things as well. But basically it's like before, when I heard this, I looked at it like others' view, right? Others' view of perhaps me or people like me could be swayed a certain way by the actions of others, right? So people's view of me could be misinterpreted or misrepresented by others' actions. And for me, that's a little disturbing. So I want to just shed some light on that and kind of go into what I seen from this conversation with my friend, and kind of just, share my feelings and my thoughts on that and just go from there. And let me just say this as well. A part of being a leader, right? You know what I mean? Because I think people always want to talk about like the good and the beneficial aspects of things, right? Like they never tell the full capacity, right? It's like, when you're this, you get this, when you're a public figure, is great and is this, when you're a community leader and when you're out there more, or when you're a speaker, or when you're whatever you are, it's all these good things that come with that, right? There's this, there's prestige, there's notoriety, there's this, you got everybody on you, it's boom, boom, boom. And they say all that, but they don't talk about the accountability and the responsibility of the position, which I didn't plan that, but that's a great segue, because that's exactly, I think, the meat of what I want to say today, making waves. The meat of that is, is good things, right? There is good things that come with things, but then it's bad things that come with things, or just negative things, or just things that require accountability and responsibility. So if you want to be at a certain level or position, or if you are at a certain level or position, right? Are you just concerned with all the good that comes from it without the bad? See, that's what I'm saying here. And so now, just speaking for me personally, right? Now, personally speaking, me as a preacher, me as a speaker, me as a leader, right? There can be some okay things that come from that. There can be some positive things that come from that. But I'm saying this because what I'm saying today, like what I'm going to bring out today, is is like the other side to the equation, right? The other side. Because see, now this is not speaking about nobody else and what they think and their definition of themselves, their position, their leadership, whatever they are. But for me, right, being a spiritual person and being a spiritual leader, so to speak, right? Being a spiritual leader, so to speak, right? What's going on, my brother? But being a spiritual leader, so to speak, right? It's like you have a charge, right? You have a charge and you have a commission, right? You have been commissioned by the commissioner. Now, don't get me started on that. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother sermon right there, which I ain't going to get into that. You know what I'm saying? But that's a good one. I've been commissioned by the commissioner, right? By the commander in chief, by the person in charge. So to speak good things, right? To speak love, to speak grace, to speak truth, to speak life, to speak peace. That's who I am and what I do. But I'm trying to get you to understand that when you've been commissioned to do this in truth, it's not just one-sided, meaning that when I come on here and talk or preach or something, it's not always going to be, cake and ice cream. You know what I mean? This ain't nothing sweet, though. It's not going to be, oh, man. Woo! I'm getting excited, y'all. Forgive me. This is good. But it's not going to be all sweets. It's not going to be all cake and ice cream. It's not going to be all, nice and gentle. This is one of them things. This is one of them conversations that's going to be, a different feel, right? So anyway, let's get into it. let's get into it. But I just thought it good to, just to share that. So anyway, let's go to the word, and then we're gonna say a few things about this. I'm going to manifest, from talking to my brother in conversation, you know what I'm saying, and from different things that the Lord has given me. We're going to give it some context. We're going to give it a text, and then we're going to go into the context, and then we're going to be up out of here. So anyway, I'm going to be in the gospel according to Matthew, and we're going to be in chapter 24. We're going to read a couple verses, 24, and I'm gonna be reading verses. I'm gonna start at 37, read maybe a verse or two, and then we're gonna go from there. So Matthew 24. Let's start at 36, actually. 36, a few verses, then we're going to go in. The word says, but of that day, now, this is the Lord talking, this is the Messiah talking, right? He's talking to his disciples privately at this point. But of that day and hour knows no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Now, check this out, 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Now, that's good. Make sure you kind of highlight that. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, in those days, before the flood, they were eating and they were drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Now, this is good. This is good. This is good. Woo! I'm talking about this morning making waves, right? Making waves. Are you called to make waves? This is good. This is good. Let's pray. We're going to jump into the word and roll. Daddy God, I thank you. I thank you and I bless you for who you are. Great things you have done, great things you are doing, and great things you are going to do. We thank you for waking us up this morning, for starting us out on our way, for giving us the use of our limbs and allowing us to live another day in your world, in your creation, right? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, right? And they that dwell therein. We are yours. We are the work of your hands. We are yours. So we just thank you for making us and shaping us and forming us and fashioning us after your image and after your likeness. Now that's powerful. I'm made after you. I'm made like unto you. And we know from that formation, we know what happened. After that, we were tempted and offended and affected by sin and shame and guilt, by the murderer and by the master of it. But we thank you for your plan of salvation. Man. We thank you for your plan of redemption. This plan that seemingly strips off the flesh, and it strips off the shame, and it strips off what we were inhabited by. See, sin inhabited us. Sin came into us. So there was a plan necessary for it to be stripped out of us. My gosh. So we thank you for this plan of salvation and redemption and power and life that has come and that is coming, that will continue to come through your Son, the man and mediator between God and men, the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. We thank you for his life, his death, his burial, his resurrection. I thank you for your spirit, for regeneration and for wisdom and for power and for leadership. We ask you that you enlighten this word and illuminate this word and illuminate this text
and make it plain, and clarify it and make it plain to those who may hear or those who may stumble across it at some point. We thank you for love, life, health, and strength, wisdom and power and glory is yours. We thank you in the name of Yahusha. Amen. So listen. Oh my goodness. Making waves. So listen, the focus, right? Our focus verse is 37 and 38. Now, let's kind of set this up. At this point in the Messiah's life, right? He's toward the end. He has already made his triumphal entry into the Holy Land, right? He's made his entry, and people have, screamed and shouted and ripped down palm trees and said, Hosanna, save now, blessed is he who has come in the name of the Lord. He's already made his entry, and he has and is been fulfilling prophecy. So he's made his entry. He went on to cleanse the temple, right? It was leaders and people in the temple that were using it for unnecessary and evil things, mainly to extortion and for their own benefit. Oh my goodness. Now those things, I'm mentioning this in passing because I'm setting it up. I ain't gonna get too deep into it. I'm just mentioning it. So triumphal entry, he's cleansing the temple. He's giving it to people, right? He's giving it to people. He's cleansing things out. He's putting people in their place, and people are mad at him. The leaders are mad at him at this point. They are fed up. They've been fed up. They've been fed up with him. But this is like, this is towards the end where it's about to go down, right? His death is almost at hand. And which is powerful because let me say, anybody who knows that people are after him, and it's like he knows people are after him. He knows it's about to get real. He knows it's already real. He knows his crucifixion is coming, but he's still snapping on people, right? He's still turning tables over. It's like, listen, I don't care what's about to happen. Oh man, let's go. So you got to understand where we're at. This is Passion Week. This is the passion of the Messiah. This is where his love for the truth and his love for the Father and his love for mankind is consuming him to the point where he knows he's about to die viciously, right? He knows he's about to bear the sin of the world, but yet and still before I get to this point that I know is coming, I still got work to do. I still got passion to live out. Man. This is a fearless man right here. So this is the week he's going to viciously die, viciously whip. This is the week of, and he's overturning tables in the temple and putting cats in their place. This is a fearless man. Don't get my Messiah twisted. You about to have me go in. But anyway, so this is Passion Week. He's cleansing the temple. He's doing things right, and then he proceeds to leave out of the temple and journey towards the Mount of Olives, which wasn't too far from the temple. So he's talking to the multitudes and the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and they're trying to catch him in a tangle in his words. And there's a lot going on here. And at this point in the text, they have left. He's come in, he's doing this thing. He's cleansed the temple the next day. And then he leaves from the temple area and he goes to the Mount of Olives. And when he's out the Mount of Olives, his disciples, right, come to him privately, and they and they ask him 3 questions. And the Lord begins to answer these questions. And at this point here in the text, he is answering the last question that his disciples asked, which was, the sign, the end of the age. When is the end of the age? Excuse me. Let me get it right. They ask him, the signs of his coming and of the end of the age. So he is now going into what is going to be like, right? What is going to be like? These are the signs of the end of the age. How do you know? How are you going to know? So they're basically asking him, how are we going to know that, like, you're on your way, that this is going to happen, the signs of the end? How is that going to look like? And he's explaining to them how it's going to look like. And he says that as in the days of Noah were, so shall also be the coming of the Son of Man. Now, verse 38, this is the focus right here that I'm going to get into. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark. Now, how was it? How was it in the days of Noah? Oh, man. That's a good question. Let me reference Genesis chapter 6 real quick. And let me just read this verse that sums up how it was in the days of Noah. All the way back in the beginning in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5, it says, and Elohim the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Man. It was only evil. So the Lord saw, now this is back in the days of Noah. This was pre-flood era. This is how it was, right? He says, as it was in those days, that's how it's going to be at the coming of the Son of Man. And the Lord saw, Genesis 6:5, it says, he saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination, the word imagination, it basically means the formation, right? The formation of a thought. So it's like the idea is that every thought formed, every formation of a thought that came out of man, it was evil. It was evil, and it was iniquity, and it was wickedness continually. That's how it always was. It was never no break. It was always trying to get over and be wicked and selfish and lust and greed, and it was always like that continuously. Now that's quite a generation. That's quite a generation. Now, and if you were to read a little bit further down in Genesis chapter 6, it kind of gives some more details, mainly being that there were mighty warriors, right? There were men of renown. Oh my gosh. It was mighty warriors, and Nimrod, the mighty hunter, was back at this time. So there were like mighty warriors and men of renown, men with a name and with a reputation, and powerful leaders and judges in the earth, and giants and different things. Oh my gosh. And different things of this nature. So this is the perspective. This is the overview right here of Noah. So of these times. So it was wickedness, but it was powerful leaders. It was men of high standard, degree, reputation, judges, hunters, mighty people. All this was going on. And not only that, but these mighty warriors and hunters and men of renown and leaders, right? Every formation was evil and wickedness continually. Now, here's what I really want to bring out. Verse 38. They were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that he entered the ark. Now, when I was studying this, when I was studying these words, this is so powerful right here. at first glance, you might think, well, what's wrong with eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage? There ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't we all need to eat? Don't we all need to drink? Don't we all? It's like, Ben, you just said it's hot outside. Drink right. We all need to eat and drink. And what's wrong with marriage and marrying people? It's love, ain't it? What's wrong with that? At first glance, you might be thinking, well, what's wrong with these things, Lord? You said they are eating, drinking, marrying, giving in marriage until the day that he entered. Well, what's wrong with that? Ah, man. But some study and first of all, some illumination and some revelation and some study, I found that these words weren't just surface level words, right? When he said eating and drinking, he wasn't talking about eating and drinking in terms of food. The words that he used here, and this is I mentioned this in passing that I'm not going to really get into it, but the Lord spoke a certain kind of language and a certain dialect of that language. He spoke Aramaic, and not only did he speak Aramaic, but he spoke a certain dialect of the Aramaic. And the words in the Aramaic are quite definitely from English and what you might think he was interpreting here and explaining. So a deeper look into like the language and the words is eating. So let's deal with eating, right? Or let's deal with eating or drinking, but let's deal with eating, right? In the root of these words, it doesn't have to be food. So let's think about when you eat something, right? So let's start with that. We're gonna break this down real quick. So when you eat food, what basically happens when you eat food? You know, you consume it, you consume the food, you take it in, and then your body absorbs and then it processes or it breaks down the ingredients in the food. It breaks down the ingredients in the food and then it transforms the food into energy, right? You know, you take in something, right? It breaks it down and it transforms it into energy, fuel for the body, carbohydrates, you got protein, you got other stuff, right? So it takes it in, it consumes it, it devours it, right? It devours it, digests it, and then it breaks it down into energy. Now, what else happens? Well, some gets stored, right? Stored as fat, used for energy later. Some is used for energy now. But then once it's done doing all that, right? Once it's done doing all that, then it eliminates. It gets rid of what it doesn't need. It gets rid of what it doesn't need. It gets rid of what is not beneficial. So it takes what it needs, breaks it down, and it uses to benefit the body. And then the stuff that it doesn't need, it eliminates, and it comes out as what we know as waste, right? But this powerful thing, it doesn't have to be just food. Now let's go to drinking, right? Now drinking, this word, it means to flow as water flowing down your throat, right? So now mind you, this is good. The word drinking in the Aramaic, to flow as water down your throat, it could mean somebody who just flows with the tide, right? That flows with the tide, who has no backbone, somebody that just goes with the times and flows with the tide, right? They don't make any waves. They don't do anything to stand up for anything, right? They fall for whatever, They fall for whatever. They turn the blind eye to different things, right? This is what he was saying, right? They just flow with whatever's going on, right? They don't stand. They fall for everything. They fall. They just flow with everything going on. And now, this is good. This is good. Now, marrying and giving in marriage. Now, this goes even deeper. This goes even deeper than that. So what he was beginning to say, before I continue, what he was beginning to say was, the days of Noah, it was people that were eating and drinking, right? It was people that were consuming, that were devouring each other, right? That were consuming each other, right? That were taking people, that was taking wives, that were consuming relationships for their own purpose and for their own benefit, right? They didn't. So basically what was going on, it was lust. That's why it was wickedness and evil continually, because what was going on was this generation, right? This generation, the Messiah is describing that it was people that was eating and drinking. They were devouring people, devouring relationships. They were taking wives. They were doing different things and consuming them and getting out of them what they want. And then as soon as they were done eating them or getting out of people what you want for your own benefit, as soon as you didn't need them anymore, you would eliminate them. So you would, oh my gosh. So a powerful person, right? This is what was going on in Noah's day. So a powerful person would have his eye on something or have his eye on somebody. And then they would ravish the person. They would consume the person. They would devour the person, right? They would look at a person that may have some beauty. They would look at somebody who may have some money. They would look at somebody who may have something going on. And they would plot against them and they would consume the person. They would get everything out of them that they wanted, and then they would eliminate the person. That's eating and drinking. So he is saying that in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking. They were devouring each other. They were lusting, right? They were only after people for their own purpose, for their own benefit. And they would squeeze the life out of people and leave them dead. This was what was happening in the days of Noah. They were eating, so not eating people in the cannibal sense. I'm talking about the spiritual and emotional sense. They were getting over on people, ravishing people, consuming relationships, getting into relationships for their own opportunity and benefit, pleasing themselves and leaving the person. That's eating. And they were also drinking, of course, not in the natural sense or physical. They weren't drinking people, but drinking, like I said, this goes with, the word here means someone who just flows and goes with the tide. Somebody who doesn't make waves. You see, this generation just flows and it goes with whatever the leader says, right? Whatever the mighty says, whatever is going on, you just go with that. You just flow with that. You don't stand up for nothing. You fall for everything and anything. Because you're only caring about your own security, your own self. You just flow with the tide. Are you flowing with the tide, or are you trying to make waves? Who are you? What you called to do? Are you drinking? Are you just letting stuff just go the way it go and not standing up for nothing? Oh my God, that's a question you might have to ask yourself. So they were eating and drinking in the days of Noah. They were doing all these things. It was wicked. But then let's talk about the marrying and giving in marriage. We going to harp on that. Now, let me bring this out. Now, this is good. Now, let me reference some notes that I jot down, because this is some good stuff. So marriage, right? Marriage, it means, the word here, it means to take, like when somebody takes a wife. If you read in Genesis chapter 6, verse 5 and on down, it says, you know, the sons of God, they would take wives unto themselves. Oh my goodness, man. But anyway, it means to take, but the word means also, the word marriage here, it means also to abandon. Oh, man, which is what I said before. They would take, and then they would abandon. Has somebody ever took advantage of you? Somebody takes advantage. Was somebody, oh man, somebody who may look to take advantage of you, they'll take you for their own advantage, and then they'll abandon you. Have you ever been taken advantage of and then abandoned? Oh my gosh. So these people were marrying, or they were taken advantage of, or they were getting into relationships for their own advantage, and then they were abandoning people, leaving them hurt and helpless. Oh my gosh. Oh man. So they were marrying. Now, giving in marriage, right? What is that? What is giving in marriage? What the heck is that? I'm glad you asked. Giving in marriage. Giving in marriage, the word for marriage, the word, it means giving. Giving in marriage, right? The word, so this entails that a powerful person or a mighty leader. Now, the word here that's in the context, it's a word that's actually never used for husband. It's two words that are normally used for husband, right? It's two words that are normally used. And one describes a good husband, and one describes a bad or negative or abusive husband. But the word here in terms of the context of giving in marriage, this term or this word that he uses, the word here, it goes for a mighty leader, or a person in power, or a person of renown, or somebody with a name or reputation, a leader of some kind. And so what was happening was, oh my goodness, man, there were people in power, right? There were leaders, community leaders, government leaders, local leaders. It was pastors, right? It was Pharisees. It was people and leaders in power that were getting over on the people. You see, I love this. I love the Messiah because he was with the common people, right? See, there were high people in high society, but see, he wasn't on that. He walked with the common people. He was for the people. Are you for the people, or are you trying to get over on somebody? But see, so giving in marriage implies that it were people in powerful positions, men and women, right? Men and women. It doesn't apply to just men, but men and women that were consuming people, taking advantage of people, using them for their own benefit, abandoning people, women that get into certain relationships, right? Getting to certain relationships and then abandoning their children, abandoning their husbands. They're doing things for their own benefit and for their own advantage, and then abandoning and eliminating people that's in their way, because everybody is selfish for themselves and doing things for their own agenda. This is what was happening. And this is how it's going to be before the coming of the Son of Man. So now let me say this. A friend of mine recently just gave me some information that I wasn't privy to. And I ain't going to go into it too deep, but I just want to say this. I got a word for leaders, right? I got a word for leaders. I got a word for leaders and people that's in different positions. Government, right? Leaders in government, leaders in local and city government, and churches and pastors and other leadership. I got a word for you today. You see, there's a lot of corruption going on. There's a lot of corruption in the leadership. You see, in this book, in the previous chapter, in Matthew chapter 23, see, the Messiah is going in on the leadership. He's going in on the Pharisees. He's going in on the Sadducees. He's going in on the scribes. He's going in on the leadership. Why? And because they are corrupted, and they are doing different things of their own tradition and their own agenda and for their own advantage and for their own benefit. And the Lord begins to denounce them, and he begins to say, woe unto you, you scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites. Woe unto you. So let me just say this. This is for different people that's in government, local, city, state, and upward. I don't care where you at. I'm talking to everybody that's in leadership positions. Woe unto you. Woe unto you who profess something and profess something that you are not. Woe unto you who is getting over on people and doing things for your own advantage, following your own purpose and agenda, and not the purpose and agenda of the Lord who put you in there. You see, all authority is granted by the Lord. You only in there because he allowed you to be. And then when you get in there, you're doing things against. You are professing to be something, but yet your character and your conduct doesn't match what you profess. You are corrupt. You are distorted. You are wicked. And this is what was going on then, and the same thing is going on now. So the word for leaders is woe unto you. You see, it's time to make waves. You say, I'm not eating and drinking. I'm not the one for that. Somebody need to type this on the line. I ain't the one for that. I ain't the one that's going to stand by idle and see corruption going on and just flowing with the tide and drinking and going along with the times. You see, I ain't for that. Somebody need to stand up and make some waves up in here. Whew. Man. The formations and thoughts of their heart was only evil continually. Only evil continue. How you supposed to be for the people, but you doing things selfishly? How you get elected and you supposed to be for the people and doing things to represent the community and doing things to build up your community and doing things to uplift the lives of the community, but you corrupted and doing things for your own purpose. How you going to disrespect not only the position, but you going to disrespect the person who allowed you to be in that position? Something's going on. See, you ever wonder why there's so much stuff that happens in this city? You ever wonder why there's so much violence? You ever wonder why it's no love? You ever wonder why there's a crabs in a barrel mentality going on? Well, maybe because it's corruption in the leadership and nobody is saying nothing. You just going along with the times. But somebody need to stand up and make some waves at some point. Are you? Oh man. Now let me transition because I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Let me transition. Woe unto you leaders. Woe unto you governmental leaders. Woe unto you elected officials. Woe unto you people that's supposed to represent the people. Woe unto you that just be doing things and who are corrupted, that do things for their own benefit. And for the people who go against you, you want to eliminate and get rid of. You see, that's evil. You see, that's evil. You see, that's why they ain't like the Lord. Because he was overturning tables and because he was making waves. And whenever somebody comes along that makes waves, you don't like that. And so you want to try to get rid of them. Oh, that was the plot, wasn't it? That was the plan. But I want to say to you, whatever your plan might be of you trying to get rid of people with a voice. Matter of fact, let me say this though too. And this is not, P, is it fine if I say this, man? Let me just say this concerning P and concerning this radio station. Because you see, some people, everybody's not going to like what you do. Everybody's not going to like what you start. Everybody doesn't like when you give a voice to the voiceless. You see, maybe that's why this station has gone through so much. Maybe that's why, the more you want to fight for the community and fight for the people and give a voice to the voiceless, people don't support it, or people try to stop it, or people try to, undermine it, right? Or minimize it. Why do you think that is? Because see, you're giving a voice to the voiceless, right? You are disrupting the natural order of things, because the natural order of things is for people that's in power to undermine other voices and to keep you down in the press. Now listen, because let me say this as well, because y'all got me going in this morning. Let me say this as well. How are we as a people, I'm talking about black people now, black culture, black people, this is for us, this is for you. How we going to talk about, we always talking about the man. We always talking about white people. We always talking about systemic oppression. And don't get me wrong, it is that. Make no mistake about it. There was a system in place. Oh my God. There is a system. It was a system, and there is a system in place that was designed to keep us oppressed. I don't disagree with that. I'm on that. But at the same time, how we going to come against that, but not come against people of the same color, of the same ethnicity, that's in power, that's doing the same thing? Somebody need to make waves up in here. How we going to get mad at other people, but don't get mad at our people that's keeping us down there doing the same daggone thing? Woo! I'm hyped this morning. This is Week Strong on CMP Radio. Maybe that's why CMP has a hard time, because it's giving a voice to the voiceless and having people speak out about some of the moral decay that's going on. Maybe you don't like that, do you? P, maybe that's why. I don't know, P. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why.
I stop asking why. We just keep doing.
That's it.
I don't ask why the sun comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoy it.
That's right, brother.
I don't ask why the sun goes down. You feel me? I enjoy the moon. I enjoy you. So let's keep doing this, bro. Let's go.
Powerful. Powerful right there. Powerful. Man, don't ask why. We don't ask why. We just keep on doing what we're doing, right? Because everything has a purpose, right? There's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything. And we just going to keep speaking the truth, right? Speaking love, you know what I'm saying? Make no mistake about it. We're going to keep speaking in love. We for the people, right? We for the people. We for the community, right? And with different things that are going on that try to oppress that, listen, I don't care what it is. Like, I don't care what color you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what color you are. If you're somebody in power, that's my color, that's doing something to oppress the people, guess what? I got an issue. I got an issue. Stop trying to corrupt. See, that's one of the marks of a corrupted person. They try to corrupt other people. But if you're a corrupt person, stop trying to corrupt the common people. You see, the leadership is corrupted. And you just want to, and you want everybody to be. You want everybody to be like, I ain't like you. We ain't like you. We need uplifting. We need love. We need community. We need support up in here. So once again, let me transition, like I said, because that was just for leaders. Like that was for leaders, right? That was for government leaders. That was for, I don't know, whatever, community leaders, right? Church leaders, this leader, coaches, whatever. You better start respecting your position, right? You better start conducting yourself the right way. You are not in a high position to try to corrupt or oppress or get over. You are in a position to uplift and build up and inspire others. But if your conduct is detrimental to that, you are not walking in step with the position or with just you being a good, morally ethical, righteous person. That's what I'm coming at. Y'all better start respecting the position. Respect yourself, number one, right? Respect yourself, number one. But respect the position. Or maybe number one, respect the person who put you in position. Maybe that should be number one. Respect the person who you don't get nothing of just your own accord. Right? Whatever happened has been allowed to happen. And for the one to allow it, you being disrespectful. Respect the person who allowed you to have that. Respect yourself. Respect the position. What's your conduct like? What's your life like? Come on, man. That was for the leaders. Now for the people. For the people, right? Now, let me explain this. Not for the people who want change. Not for the people who seek change, right? Not for the ones who are ready for change. Not those people. Not the community. I mean for the people that follow this corruption, that follow these corrupted leaders, right? That eat and drink with them, not in a natural sense. Not in a natural sense. I'm talking about people who are only in relationships with people in powerful positions for your own benefit. So if you are close to, if you are familiar with, if you are in cahoots with, come on now, if you are in cahoots with a leader or somebody who you might know is corrupted and his conduct is detrimental to how we walk and what he professing, if you know that and you ain't saying nothing about it, woe unto you. Because how you gonna walk with somebody like that? How you gonna not make waves and point out their error? How you just gonna let that person be that person and you not stand up? Are you gonna stand up for yourself or stand up for what's right? Or are you just gonna go and flow with the tide? Why are people that follow corruption not saying nothing? Is it because you get things from this person, right? You get things from this person. This person might be giving you some money. This person might be looking out for you. This person might be doing this, right? Is that what it is? Is that why you don't say nothing? Have you sold your, oh my goodness. Have you sold your soul to corruption and to a corrupted leader or to corrupted leadership based on what you can get out of them? See, you get things from corruption, so you're not going to speak up against it because you eating off it and your soul is sold to it. Oh my goodness. I ain't selling my soul for anyone. Matter of fact, my soul is already sold. It's already sold. I'm sold out. Not for evil, not for wickedness, not for doing things on my own benefit. Listen, I told you before, when I come up here and speak, this is not for my own advantage. Oh, he's coming on here, maybe because he just like to talk. He want to be heard. He wants somebody to like him. He's trying to get his views up. I don't give a rat's behind about none of that stuff. Don't put me in that category. I don't come up here for my own advantage. I come up here, number one, because I've been called and sent to say some things that might make some waves. And guess what? That might come with something too. But listen, I'm not scared of what may come from this. I'm scared of the one who told me to go say it. And if I don't say it, I'm more scared of him than you. This is the fear of the Lord up in here. I'm more scared of what might happen to me if I don't follow my soul, if I don't follow my heart, if I don't speak the truth. I'm scared of what might happen to me if I don't do that. Somebody need to share this video right now. Share this, comment, like. Not for my own advantage, I don't care. But just for the word to reach more people. Somebody might need to hear this afternoon. So, woe unto you, people who are in cahoots with corruption, corrupted leaders, corrupted individuals. And you know they are. You know they wrong. You know what they do. You know they conduct. You know it. And you don't do anything because you eating off of it. Maybe that's why you ain't speaking up. But where is the fear for truth? Where is the fear for the people? Where is the fear for the community? And when I say fear, I don't mean negative fear. I mean a fear, I mean a reverence, I mean an honoring for the truth and an honoring for the community. Because if you truly are about the people and you for the people, you would speak out against somebody who is not so. But if you don't really have a love for the people. You don't honor the city. You don't honor the community. You don't honor the people. You don't honor the poor. You don't honor us. You don't care about us because you eating off corruption. But I see you well. See, this is an evil and a perverse generation. We got people that say, oh, I love this. I love you, bruh. I love this city. I'll do this. You ain't gonna do a doggone thing because you eating off corruption. Whew. And because you're subjected to a leader's position and power and selfishness and doing things for your own agenda, for your own purpose, or for your own advantage. This is an evil and corrupted and a wicked generation. And finally, man, you know, he says, like how those days were, this is what's going to be going on prior to the end of the age, man. I mean, this is what's going on. This is this generation. This is what's going on. There ain't no love. This is a lustful, selfish, right? People, this is a generation where people will shake your hand, smile in your face, and say, I love you, and go behind your back and do something crazy. Now, let me say this. I'm not mentioning all this because it's like, you know, because I don't know that, right? I know that. And just like P said, we know things. We ain't gonna ask why. We just gonna keep it pushing. And so you best believe we gonna keep it pushing. I'm not stuck on this. Like, I'm not stuck on it in the context of I'ma go home and whine and cry and complain. This is what it is. We know it, you know it, the world know it. This is the hand. Oh man, this is the cards we've been dealt. But let me say this to you. The cards that I've been dealt, the cards we've been dealt, the card this city been dealt, the cards this community been dealt. Guess what? It's ones set aside that's going to flip these cards over, right? Like we going to take what it is, but then we're going to rise above it and flip this thing around. It's going to happen. You may not see it happening. You may see a lot of evil. You may see a lot of wickedness. You may see a lot of corruption. You may see a lot of perversion. You may see a lot of immorality. You may see a lot of that. But I'm telling you right now, by the word and by the power that's vested in me, and to somebody that is called to make some waves, whoo, my goodness, there's a shift happening. There's a shift going on. You may not see it. You may think all hope is lost. You may think there ain't no hope. And trust me, it's for sure look like that. But I'm going to say this, all hope ain't lost. Nah, there's a purpose. It's a reason. And everything happens according to divine strategic timing. Let me say that. As it was in the days before the flood, when the world was destroyed, the thoughts of men's hearts was evil continually. And as it was in those days, these are the days now. People are eating and drinking and marrying and abandoning, giving in marriage. They are using people. They are consuming people and keeping what is beneficial for them. Just like when you eat food and your body transforms and digests that food and uses it for beneficial purposes, energy, strength, power, but then it eliminates what it doesn't need. That's what people do. They use you until you all used up, right? And then they abandon you and eliminate you. Those were the people then, and these are the people now. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm just here just to give you an overview of the people and the corruption that's going on now. But all hope ain't lost. We gonna be all right, y'all. This city, we gonna be all right. Right? Sometimes things has to die for it to grow, for it to get better. Woe unto you. You are not respecting the people. You are not respecting your position. You are not respecting yourself. There ain't no honor. There ain't no respect. And there's judgment for that. Right? There's justice for that. There's justice for that. Right? There's a time coming where that's going to be repaid. Let me end by saying this. I'm done. Let me end by saying this. There ain't nothing happen. There ain't nothing that goes on that is not hid. That's not going to be manifested. That's not going to be repaid. Right? Whatever you do in life, leader or otherwise, whatever you do in life, you going to receive the just due of your reward. But if you are in a leadership position, city, local, state, government, I don't care, church, pastor, whatever, I don't care what you are. And if your conduct don't match the position, if your conduct don't match your profession, it's justice for that. How you gonna be in a position of justice, but you are acting unjustly? That's hypocritical. That's blasphemy. This is the word for this morning. Hypocrites, blasphemers, liars. The truth ain't in you. It never was in you. But that's okay. The truth always comes to the light. This is Born Leader. This is CMP Radio. This is the truth. This is Chester. This is love. This is Born Leader. I'm done. I'll see you next time.
Small city, big dreams, big dreams. Nothing's ever as big as it seems. So dream on. Small city,